Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear announced Toyota will be manufacturing their first U.S.-made battery electric vehicle at their plant right here in Kentucky.
Imagine glancing at your watch, and by the time a single minute ticks by, a brand new Toyota is already rolling off the line, tested, polished, and ready to hit the road. This is not fiction. This is daily reality at Toyota Motor Manufacturing Kentucky, the largest Toyota factory in the world. It is not just a facility. It is the nerve center of a manufacturing miracle that is quietly rewriting the rules of modern car production. What makes this place so fast, so efficient, and so far ahead of the curve? Where precision never sleeps. Hidden deep in the heart of Georgetown, Kentucky, lies a giant. Not a steel and smoke behemoth of the industrial past, but a humming, gleaming, surgically precise marvel of modern engineering. The Toyota Motor Manufacturing Kentucky facility, known as TMMK, covers over 8 million square feet and operates like the inner workings of a Swiss watch. But unlike a watch, this factory does not just keep time, it uses it. Every single second counts. And every 60 seconds, that precision births a fully finished vehicle. How is that even possible? The answer lies in the synchronized dance of lean manufacturing, relentless innovation, and a culture of improvement that never allows itself to rest. At TMMK, the clock is not the enemy. It is the tempo of a system so refined that waste becomes opportunity, delay becomes progress, and even errors are not failures but lessons to improve upon. Toyota's famous lean manufacturing philosophy is not a buzzword. It is the beating heart of this factory. Every process, every motion, every screw tightened is part of a greater flow. Materials arrive just in time, not a moment too soon, and never too late. Inventory does not sit gathering dust in the corner. It flows like a river, perfectly timed to arrive at the exact moment of need. This is not by accident. This is by design. Behind the scenes, a network of AI systems and logistics coordinators ensures that components are delivered to the right station at the right moment. The steel for the body arrives when the frame is ready to be welded. The dashboard is delivered when the interior assembly team reaches that precise step. Nothing is random. Every action is purposeful. But the real secret is not just the machines. It is the people. Over 8,000 workers keep this massive organism alive, and their role is not to simply follow instructions. They are trained to observe, to question, to improve. In fact, every worker is encouraged to stop the entire assembly line if something seems off. That is right. Even a single worker can halt the production of thousands of cars if they believe quality is at risk. And that kind of trust breeds a culture where everyone is part of the mission. One of the most fascinating parts of TMMK is its use of the Japanese concept of Kaizen, or continuous improvement. This is not a once-a-year corporate retreat filled with motivational slogans. This is a daily routine, a way of life embedded into every shift. Workers submit suggestions, not occasionally, but constantly, and those suggestions are actually implemented. If a team member finds a quicker way to attach a part, or a safer method to perform a step, it gets tested, validated, and rolled out. And then there are the robots. But even that word feels too simple. These are not just metal arms blindly moving in a loop. These are learning machines, trained to weld with microscopic precision and powered by artificial intelligence that can detect tiny imperfections before they become costly errors. A single welding robot at TMMK can perform hundreds of operations per hour, each one accurate to the millimeter. That is the kind of precision that no human could ever maintain for hours at a time. But at TMMK, it is not about choosing between robots and people. It is about the fusion of both. What is more impressive is how seamlessly humans and robots work together here. Workers use assistive technology like exoskeletons and power tools guided by smart sensors. Instead of replacing jobs, the machines actually help make them better. Less fatigue, fewer injuries, more consistency. It is the kind of future people were once afraid of. But here, it feels more like teamwork, and it is not all mechanical. There is a human rhythm to it. You can see it in the way each person at TMMK moves. No one is rushing, but no one is idle. There is a flow to it, a kind of choreographed efficiency where even the smallest action feels like part of a larger dance. It is the same across every part of the factory, from stamping to painting to final inspection. Even the way problems are solved feels different. Instead of blaming workers when something goes wrong, the process itself is blamed. What could we do to make this mistake impossible to happen again? That is the question asked after every hiccup. And that philosophy changes everything. It creates a place where failure is not feared but studied, where improvement is not demanded but discovered. As each Camry, RAV4 or Lexus ES rolls off the line, it is not just the result of speed. It is the culmination of thousands of tiny decisions made better every single day. And that commitment to small, continuous gains has led to something remarkable. A car, built from scratch every 60 seconds. But if TMMK is this efficient today, what happens when Toyota turns its full attention to the electric future? What happens when that 60-second rhythm is matched with the next generation of powertrains? The silent revolution. Beneath the assembly line, the noise of clanking metal and humming machines may dominate the factory floor, but beneath it all, a quieter revolution is underway. Toyota's Kentucky plant is not only the world's largest by output, it is becoming a laboratory for something far bigger than Camrys and RAV4s. Hidden behind the steel frames and robotic arms is Toyota's most ambitious shift yet. A transformation into a hub for electric vehicle manufacturing that could upend the dominance of Tesla and BYD. The shift did not begin with a loud announcement, it began with experiments. Inside TMMK, before most people even knew Toyota was serious about EVs, the company had already begun building test lines for electric components. Teams were trained discreetly, battery chemists arrived, prototype assembly units were quietly installed, and the factory's blueprint began to bend towards something very new. At the heart of this transformation is Toyota's decision to produce its own EV batteries in-house. It is a bold move that changes everything. For years, Toyota relied on external suppliers for its hybrid battery packs, but the stakes for electric vehicles are far higher. Control over battery chemistry, production, and quality means more than efficiency. It means survival in a market defined by range anxiety, charging time, and power density. In one wing of the plant, work is underway on what Toyota calls the battery unit section. This new facility will house one of the most high-tech battery lines in North America. Technologies like dry electrode processing, layer-by-layer cell stacking, and precision thermal control systems are being built in stages. Every battery pack that comes off this line will undergo stress tests, voltage checks, impact resistance simulations, and chemical durability trials. These are not just batteries, these are promises. Toyota is taking it even further. The company is investing heavily into battery chemistries. For hybrids, it will continue refining its proven nickel-metal hydride systems, which offer stability and long life. But for full electric vehicles, lithium-ion technology is the centerpiece. Engineers at TMMK are working around the clock to extend the lifespan of each lithium pack, improve safety under extreme temperatures, and push faster charging speeds. This dual approach allows Toyota to serve two markets at once: the massive base of hybrid users who want better mileage, and the future-facing EV crowd who demand speed, range, and power. What makes this approach even more unique is the way Toyota involves its workers in the evolution. Battery tech is not simply installed and managed from the top down. It is studied, questioned, improved. Workers on the ground floor give feedback about installation time, ergonomics, safety, and assembly accuracy. Those suggestions get passed to design teams and engineers who revise the process in real time. It is an iterative cycle that keeps the plant flexible, responsive, and miles ahead of rivals. But the most daring part of Toyota's battery vision is not in lithium. It is in solid-state technology. While most car makers are still caught in the race to perfect lithium-ion cells, Toyota is quietly pouring research into batteries that replace flammable liquid electrolytes with solid ones. These solid-state batteries promise higher energy density, faster charging, and significantly lower risks of overheating or thermal runaway. Toyota has already hinted that it will begin prototyping solid-state packs inside this very factory. If successful, the Kentucky plant may become the birthplace of the world's first mass-market solid-state EV. This vision extends far beyond batteries. Toyota is rethinking the entire layout of the factory to accommodate electric platforms. Unlike gasoline or hybrid vehicles, electric cars require different architecture. They need open floors for battery packs, dedicated areas for electric motors, and new safety zones for high-voltage handling. The company is redesigning portions of the assembly line so that internal combustion, hybrid, and electric cars can all be made under the same roof. It is a staggering logistical feat, but one Toyota is treating as essential. And then there is the question of supply. To maintain this electric momentum, Toyota is also forging new relationships with domestic suppliers. Raw materials like lithium, cobalt, and rare earth metals are being sourced closer to home, and new contracts are being signed to ensure that battery production can keep up with global demand. The fewer the delays, the more control Toyota keeps. Perhaps the most interesting detail of all is how quietly this shift is happening. There are no massive EV billboards on the highway near Georgetown, no grand launch parties inside the factory. Toyota believes in under-promising and over-delivering, and that strategy might just work in their favor. While other automakers announce features they cannot deliver or scale they cannot sustain, Toyota is already laying down the future one cell, one pack, one car at a time. TMMK, in that sense, is not just building cars. It is building the next chapter of Toyota's identity. One that leans into innovation but never leaves reliability behind. One that listens to its workers, not just its shareholders. And one that treats change not as a disruption, but as an invitation to do better. In the next chapter, we step away from the machines and into the lives of the people. Because while robots may weld the frames and batteries may power the wheels, it is the human beings of TMMK who bring Toyota's vision to life. Their hands, their eyes, and their stories are the reason each 60-second miracle is even possible. If solid-state technology is the next big leap, how are workers inside this factory already living through that change, and what does it mean for the future of the American workforce? The workers behind the revolution. Inside the sprawling grounds of Toyota's Kentucky factory, there is a quiet rhythm that flows with every shift change and echoes through every corridor. This is not just a place of machines or assembly lines humming in sync. It is a place where more than 8,000 men and women move in harmony with robotic arms, sensor alerts, and precision tools, all working toward a single shared goal. These are not just employees fulfilling tasks. They are specialists, trainers, engineers, operators, and technicians. They are individuals who carry the weight of Toyota's decades-long reputation on their shoulders, ensuring that every vehicle leaving the line meets the standard of excellence the world has come to expect. When someone new is hired into this massive operation, they are not thrown into the deep end. Training begins immediately, not just in tasks, but in culture, mindset, and safety. New employees spend time in dedicated learning zones, not on the floor, but in simulations that mimic real-life manufacturing scenarios. They are taught how to work safely around robots, how to spot inefficiencies before they slow production, and how to engage in Toyota's system of Kaizen, where even the smallest improvements are encouraged and celebrated. This environment of constant growth means workers are never stagnant. Their ideas are valued, their insights are recorded, and many of the most efficient changes inside the plant have come directly from the floor rather than upper management. Kaizen meetings are held regularly, giving everyone from welders to electricians a seat at the table. It is not uncommon for a floor technician to point out a slight lag in a conveyor belt sensor or suggest a better grip for a tool, only for that idea to be implemented within days. Toyota believes in making everyone feel responsible for the success of the product, and that belief creates a powerful sense of purpose. It is a workplace where hierarchy takes a back seat to practicality, and where the best idea always wins, regardless of where it came from. Health and safety are not just talked about during orientation. They are woven into every part of the daily routine. Workers are equipped with helmets, protective gloves, and tailored uniforms that reduce static buildup and minimize fatigue. Special zones are allocated for break times, and on-site medical teams are always ready for any emergencies. Regular health screenings are not just about compliance, but about keeping the team strong and prepared. Even the lighting and airflow in the facility are adjusted to reduce eye strain and overheating during long shifts. It is an ecosystem that understands that human efficiency cannot exist without human care. One of the most remarkable aspects of TMMK is the loyalty it inspires. There are many who have worked here for more than 15 years. These long-serving employees often mentor the newer recruits, passing down techniques, insights, and habits that can never be captured by software. They do not just train hands, they train instincts. Many of them speak of Toyota not as a job, but as a career that gave them stability, growth, and pride. That pride shows up in the way they inspect a car door for alignment, or how they ensure the battery fits with millimeter precision. It is visible in their eyes when they talk about the cars they helped build, being driven across the country by families who will never know their names but will trust their craftsmanship every single day. The Toyota team is not static either. With the company moving swiftly into electric vehicles, employees are being cross-trained. A technician who once only worked on internal combustion engine parts is now learning to install battery modules. Painters who once dealt with standard body coatings are being introduced to special insulation materials needed for EV thermal management. The learning never stops because the future never waits. As Toyota gradually integrates EV production into the same lines that produce Camrys and RAV4 hybrids, every worker must evolve in knowledge and flexibility, and they are doing it with remarkable speed. There is a deep understanding across the workforce that what they are doing here is more than assembly. It is transformation. The factory is not just building cars, it is building capability. With solid-state batteries on the horizon and electric platforms already in trial phases, every department is quietly preparing for a seismic shift in the way vehicles are made. But they are not panicking. They are preparing. Because at TMMK, change is not feared. It is expected. And those who work here have already proven that when the industry changes, they adapt not only with grace, but with excellence. One that has begun circulating among observers and industry leaders alike. If the workers themselves are evolving faster than the market, what else is Toyota preparing behind the scenes that could shake the global EV landscape to its core? A factory that never sleeps. Even as the sun sets over Kentucky, the heartbeat of the TMMK factory continues without pause. In this colossal facility, where a new car rolls out every 60 seconds, night does not mean silence. Lights remain on. Machines stay in motion. Teams rotate in shifts with clockwork precision. It is a carefully choreographed dance of people and technology that never skips a beat. This is not just productivity, it is discipline. And it is part of what makes Toyota's Kentucky plant one of the most consistent car-producing giants in the world. Yet the significance of this factory goes far beyond numbers. This is not simply where Camrys and RAV4 hybrids are assembled. It is the birthplace of Toyota's next generation. This is the testing ground for electric vehicles built with the same care and attention that made Toyota a global icon in the first place. It is where prototype batteries are pushed to their limits, where EV platforms are stress-tested, and where the whispers of solid-state breakthroughs are turning into something more concrete every day. In many ways, this factory represents the perfect blend of tradition and forward-thinking. It is where Toyota's history meets its future. The reliability of yesterday powers the innovation of tomorrow. And as one car leaves the line each minute, the message is clear. Toyota is not just keeping up with Tesla and BYD, it is quietly building something that could outlast them all. Because the real revolution may not be in what the world sees today. It might be in what Toyota is preparing for behind those factory walls tomorrow. Toyota's Kentucky factory is not just an assembly plant. It is a living blueprint of what the future of the auto industry could look like. Every 60 seconds, it delivers more than a car. It delivers a promise of precision, of resilience, of evolution. As the world races toward electric, Toyota is not shouting to be heard. It is building in silence. And when the time comes, it will not need to catch up. It will already be there, because the revolution is not loud. It is disciplined, and it starts exactly one car every minute. That's the end of our video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks.